Hello, everyone.
Hello.
All right, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're actually going to try to start on time here. If I can get everybody to give Ted Langstaff here a round of applause for having no technical difficulties and getting us all ready to go before we start. You're gonna, everything good? There we go, technical difficulty, our first one of the day. You are gonna see Ted elevate our sales meetings and our production quality and all that stuff. Also, if you are interested in leaning on his expertise to do a podcast or something like that in our media room, feel free to reach out to Ted because he's awesome. Thank you, Ted. All right. Do we have our? Yes, we do. Pearl is here. Perfect. So I think we've got everything we need to get rocking.
Yep, Jordan will be on in 1 second. He'll be the one giving the presentation and sharing his.
So we're going to kick off in our traditional ways here, and if everybody wants to join me in reading our vision statement to grow our company to be the #1 real estate company in Canada in agent count and market share, built with quality individuals who place paramount importance and value on integrity, education, kindness, culture, and opportunity. By achieving this vision together, we will create a positive impact on our industry, community, associates, and families for generations to come. So we had an awesome meeting in September. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. We had an amazing guest speaker who really shared with us about his experiences growing up Indigenous and the struggles of kind of figuring out who he was and who his family was. At that meeting, I read a Ted. No technical, there we go, see, no technical difficulties. We read a land acknowledgement, and once you start that, we're going to be doing it consistently at every meeting. So KWI acknowledges that our offices located in Ottawa are on the unceded, unsurrendered territory of the Anishinaabe, Algonquin nations, whose presence here reaches back to the time immemorial. Keller Williams Integrity Realty recognizes the Algonquins as the customary keepers and defenders of the Ottawa River watershed and its tributaries. We honor their long history of welcoming many nations to this beautiful territory and uphold and uplift the voice and values of our host nation. Thank you very much, everyone. All right, so we have a guest speaker here to kick us off in Jason. Do we have both Jason and Jordan here, Pearl?
We have just Jordan, but he's on and ready to get going.
Okay, well, he is on, and I'll let you introduce yourself. Sorry, I don't remember if you said it was Jason or Jordan that was here.
Jordan.
Jordan, perfect. I'll let you introduce yourself, Jordan.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Let me just present here.
So I'll say a few quick words. KW has a whole bunch of communities, and it's one of the things we're going to be focusing on in this meeting. The sports and entertainment is one of the KW communities. Over the next 6 months, you're going to see us trying to introduce a whole bunch of these communities and a whole bunch of these opportunities and value adds to you guys here. And we're really, really lucky to have Jordan here, as he is very, very booked up all over the place, and we're lucky to have him. So, you ready, Jordan?
Yes, I am. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. So, how many people have heard of the sports entertainment community?
So we have about 12 hands up.
Wonderful. Okay, cool. We were at Mega Agent Camp.
Can we turn him up?
Let me know if you need to.
Keep talking, and we'll just adjust you
Cool.
as you go here.
Oh,
All right.
I've seen this room so far, so.
Okay, great. So we were at Mega Agent Camp and presented to just really briefly on what we're doing in Canada. We look at Canada as completely separate from what we're doing in sports and entertainment in the US. So we have a very streamlined focus on what we can do in Canada, and we've taken it. And have you heard of the PHPA by chance? You know what that is?
No.
So the PHPA is the Professional Hockey Players Association. So let's just take one national sport of Canada. Do you guys know how many members are in the Pro Hockey Players Association?
No,
11,000.
actually, Chris Scott might know.
Yeah, 11,000. So
Okay.
these are players that are professional ice hockey players in the American Hockey League, the Eastern ECHL, East Coast Hockey League, into the NHL. We're starting our relationship with them, our partnership with them next week. We have a portal that basically says, I need a place to live. I want to buy or sell a home. I'm interested in investing in real estate. I have a lot of money that I'm looking to put into investing or putting together a group of investors to find some properties in this market that's very common. Or I'm interested in just general education, getting a real estate license, going back to my hometown of Ottawa and connecting with the Keller Williams real estate agent that I can just send referrals to and leads and just take a referral fee of 20-25%. That sounds pretty good, right? Not a bad way to just earn some mailbox money. So 11,000 professional hockey players, this is going to go out to them, and this is going to go out to them not through us. That would be kind of a spam channel. This is going out through quarterly email blasts, podcasts, going to present to teams directly. We just did 4 Hershey Bears players. I'm here in Washington, D.C. The Washington Capitals went up to Hershey, sold 2 homes to 2 of their players. And essentially are just saying, how do you integrate real estate in this massive community where we can be your go-to resource for anything you need? So I'm really excited about that. I'm speaking directly to ice hockey. There's absolutely other opportunities that come out of what we do, but our focus as a lead generation platform is really what the value is when you're looking at creating some ancillaries in your local business. So we've had a lot of opportunity over the summer. We basically kind of piloted this in a pro hockey player league in Montreal. You can see Murray France on here with Chris Letang and David Perron. So on the Detroit Red Wings and Pittsburgh Penguins. Jonathan Huberdeau obviously just got traded. So these are big names. We sponsored an ice hockey team this summer under the Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment brand. Pretty powerful stuff. That's probably a 6-figure value if you had to pay for that. So I got to go to Montreal, spend some time, great city. Ottawa has obviously a relationship with their hockey team there, but players that are from that area.
You better be able to know the hockey team that is, Jordan. Sounded like
no, the Senators. No, I'm
There we
trying to
go.
think. No, absolutely, yeah. Zach Sanford is a really good friend of mine. Sandy played for them
Yeah.
last season. I saw Brady Tkachuk was dressed up as Elf the other day for the Halloween thing that players do. I got to drink out of the Stanley Cup myself here in DC when we won a Stanley Cup. I know the Senators haven't been good for a long time. No offense. They're getting better. A couple issues with, I think, some players' wives, right? For a little while there, some controversy. But that being said, we know what we're doing. We're going into these relationships, and we are the top-down funnel here. So Jill Saulnier, who is with me, she won an Olympic gold medal for Team Canada in Beijing. PWHPA, women's hockey, is about to become another partner of ours. I'm actually going to the NWSL final here in DC on Saturday, National Women's Soccer League, with an American Olympian who just won a silver medal. Canada beat them in Beijing, and we're going to start integrating American women's ice hockey. So really really exciting stuff here. And if you're in your business and you're waking up every single day and you're saying, how am I like differentiating myself? How am I lead genning today that's outside of just local business? How can I also become the resource as a Canadian real estate agent within Keller Williams of 170,000 real estate agents to elevate my brand and tell people I'm here? If you take the US and you invest into Canada, it's really hard to do, right? I think there's a 20% tax now, 15 to 20% for a US citizen to try to buy a property in Canada. No one's doing that. I had a friend, Michael Bradley, he's a center mid for Toronto FC. He had to wait 4 years to get his Canadian citizenship to buy a home in Toronto because he just didn't want to pay that tax. So he just waited it out. Going the other way though, having relationships with 1,000 agents in the US that are part of KW Sports and Entertainment as a community, pretty powerful stuff where you can essentially have this sea of investment opportunities for Canadian citizens to come down to the States and build a real estate portfolio without having those guardrails on tax implications. So that's just basically like what we build as a community. Obviously, you can see here we do everything in 3 languages: English, French, and Spanish. All of our marketing is translated into 3 languages. So the Canada obviously is more French Canadian than Spanish Canadian, I imagine, but we care about that. We make it a big part of our marketing. And as you bring this into your space, we have a portal. I don't want to take up too much time here, so I'm kind of flying through this a little bit. We have a portal that has a complete standalone brand. If you go to Instagram, KW Sports Entertainment, you'll find the engagement on that page. We engage with 6,600 accounts in the last week. Pretty cool, right?
Very cool.
6,600 accounts coming through our Instagram business page. You can see the engagement. It's a business account. So people are paying attention to what this is, and there's nothing like it. And if you're a Remax or a Century 21, if they're in Canada and you're saying, I have an agreement with, the Ottawa Senators or whatever it may be, that's great. That's for the fans. We're actually coming and working with relationships with the players themselves and the staff and the front office. And we can get to anybody we need to within 1 or 2 contacts. And we help you guys do that. You don't have to do that on your own or buy sponsorships and try to put your name on the side of the building. That's not what we're doing. We're basically going in and we're shortcutting those processes to actually sell and transact real estate. So the marketing is huge, a social media presence. We have a huge web team that does this. We work directly with KWRI. This is a KWRI program. Events, awesome. Who's ever coming to Anaheim, we're about to put a 700-person event on at a really special venue. So Pearl, I can't say what the venue is, correct? Right?
No,
We haven't signed the
can't.
contract.
Not yet. Nope. Keep it under
If you
wraps.
come to Anaheim and you're part of our group, you're going to be coming to one of the best social events I think that's going to be there. Pearl and I are really excited about what we've had booked, and it's specific to S&E. This is, again, a community. This is a way to network. It's a way to meet other agents, and it's about driving business. We do other things aside from just sell homes to athletes, and we work specifically on growth, development, how to market your properties better. We just had a huge Zoom on marketing and various apps that can help with kind of video content, with anything you want to do to market a property. We do SEO stuff, search engine optimization. Google Ottawa Realtor, does your name come up in a Google search? Pretty easy stuff, but high level concept to attract more business. So we have SEO companies we work with. We make this part of our value proposition. So do you guys have any questions? And again, feel free to ask some questions.
So if someone's interested in becoming a member and membership in sports and entertainment? What are the steps? Where should they get their more information?
Great idea.
There we go. Apply
Easy.
today.
Easy question. So we're a community. So I believe Keller Williams has about 16 communities, I want to say now. We're one of those communities. Gary Keller is really taking, supporting this endeavor that every single agent within KW should feel connected to one of these communities. So the communities, they're established. There is guardrails in place. There's a barrier of entry. You have to have 50,000 GCI Canadian in the past 12 months to join. The reason for that is if we give a referral, which will have an entire referral platform, as I mentioned, just PHPA alone, 11,000 contacts, and we start running referrals into these regional areas. So I believe we have one agent in Ottawa right now, total.
Yeah, I think we only have one in this market center, maybe none, honestly.
I don't know. I'm not aware of one. This is
Yeah, it might be none.
We had I can tell you, I won't take up too much time to look this up. Anyway, I believe we have one agent. Here we are. Dylan Puchniak. Does that name ring a bell?
Okay, Dylan's across the river in the Gatineau side. Yeah.
Okay, so Dylan is a new member of SNE. Really excited to have him. Sorry, I had to look up his name because he is new. So I have an encyclopedia memory, but sometimes it takes a minute to put two and two together. But really easy. Join KWSC.com if you're interested. If this is spoken to you and saying, I'm interested, I'd like to see how I can differentiate myself, try this out in my business. It's a month-to-month commitment. There is a financial fee of $199 a month, US. I believe it's US. We should please
Yeah, it's US.
Yeah, I believe that it's $199 US. Month-to-month commitment, cancel anytime. We put there's a ton of different programs that we offer every single day. We're doing new things. We have. Has anyone seen that show To Catch a Predator? Remember that show on NBC, Dateline?
Not me.
With Chris Hansen.
No.
Anybody? No. Iconic show. We're doing realtor safety this month with Chris Hansen. Chris is a legendary journalist that's specifically focused on realtor, not realtor, but general and safety and online presence and things like that. So we're going to do a deep dive into that. We have an investment seminar tomorrow that we go and we pull a entire portfolio of kind of retired and current pro athletes and current entertainers that have built out investment portfolios and explain all the different models that you can do as a real estate agent to become better educated to represent investment properties. And in a market shift, investment properties are a huge part of how people can make money because interest rates are through the roof. They're not coming down anytime soon. Primary residences, people are going to stay in their homes a little bit longer, but the investors are going to be able to take advantage of some of the softer markets that are coming all over the North American area. So we want to educate our realtors to just be more informed about how to represent investor deals, what that actually means, talk about cap rates, things like that. And we run masterminds around it. We do that once or twice a month. So the content is always there. We record everything. We have a portal. Everybody's a private portal login that has access to everything from our Zooms to our masterminds to logos, you name it. And just as becomes, like I said, 10, 20, 30 minutes a day as part of your business to just increase your knowledge and I think become a better real estate agent. And all the while, 1,000-person referral network, also pretty cool. So, that's
awesome, Jordan.
Yeah, so
Really
that's
cool.
kind of the presentation here. I'll skip a couple of those slides, but if anyone has any questions.
Can you send me the slide deck and we'll include it in what we send out with our slide deck for after the meeting?
Yep,
Sure.
I'll send you a follow-up email after this. And then one more thing to note is we are having Q&A and information session, which will be pretty similar to this, but a bit more in depth this upcoming Tuesday, and it's specifically for the Canada region. We have about 40 to 50 interested agents joining that meeting. So if any of you are interested, please reach out to kwsc@kw.com, and I'll send you an invite to that as well. This upcoming Tuesday, November 1st, I believe at 3:30 p.m.
Does myself and or the market center get informed whenever somebody joins
Um,
from our?
not necessarily.
Okay, then I
It's
ask all of you out there, if you're interested in this and if you send in an application or join or anything, I would love to know about your interests, because I believe there'll be opportunities within the market center within this as well. So anybody who is exploring this or interested, I'd like to be a part of helping you do that and supporting you in kind of creating this community on behalf of integrity within the KWSC. Okay, and the other thing, we focused a lot on hockey, which was perfect, but it is entertainers as well, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. I have a special thing, soft spot in my heart. I know hockey really well. But it is entertainers as well. Toronto Film Festival obviously is unbelievable down in Lower Ontario. So we have specific agents within this group that will open up their sphere of influence and make these types of connections. So good example, we have a financial advisor firm, huge firm, 600 financial advisors that focus on the entertainment and sports industry that want to basically utilize us as the real estate portfolio crossover. We get recommended to them as partners. So yes, entertainment's big. Pearl actually has an entertainment background. She won't say it. She won't talk about it, but we do have Pearl's dad just produced a commercial with LeBron James for Beats, which is pretty incredible. So we don't just cherish these, it's a relationship-based community, right? So everybody that has relationships, we will do a Zoom on the 4 pillars of how to leverage those relationships without coming across as a salesy type of annoying pitch.
Yeah.
It's natural, it's organic, it's authentic, it's consistent, and that's how we build all of our kind of understandings of how to leverage these relationships in the right way. So
That sounds great, Jordan. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
being
having
here.
us.
I hope to see some applications on this.
I
If
hope so
you-
too.
Yeah, I mean, no commitment. If you're interested, shoot an application in. We'll get back to you within a week or so. And then you decide if you want to move forward or not. But thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing a lot of you guys in February as well.
Sounds good.
So
Thank you very
Cool.
much, Jordan.
thank you.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye,
See ya.
Pearl. Pretty cool. So that's one of quite a few different communities. We're actually going to be talking about luxury as well. Amber Sauvé has been researching luxury since about, June, July. She's attended Mega Camp and all the luxuries and the luxury symposium at the beginning of October, et cetera. So I've asked her to kind of put together a presentation for everybody here today on what the luxury division is all about. Amber? All right. Just moves the slides.
What do I do? Hi, Brown. So I'm gonna keep it short because I could talk about this literally all day. But I'm just gonna touch on what's changed in the luxury division at Keller Williams over the past year. So I joined this wonderful brokerage at the beginning of last year, and I caught word of a luxury division, and I was like, that sounds great. What's that about? So I called Andrew a few months in, and he was like, yep, you've earned in, so we'll get you in and we'll get you set up. So I got my intro email and the logins for everything, and I was totally underwhelmed. And I was like, okay, this is cool. It's basically the same resources that we get across the board, which are great. I did use some things to market some listings that I had. And then I went to Mega Agent Camp, and I was the only one from our brokerage that signed up for the mastermind there. And I got there and there was a line of 30 people trying to get in. There's like standing room only. So I walked in with my ticket and I was like, the room was packed. And I was like, this is a big deal. Something really big is happening. And out comes Brady Sandall and Carolyn Kuo, who are the directors of growth for the luxury division. And they launched their dream for what they want the division to look like. We broke out into mastermind groups. I was at a table of 9 incredible agents from all over the world. We had someone from Hong Kong, New York, Florida, England, New Jersey, all over. And we got really close. And the information that we shared there was absolutely incredible. And then they said, if you're interested in learning more, come to the symposium, which was in Boston just a few weekends ago. So my table of 9 went down as a group, met there, and spent the whole time together. And the symposium is really marketed as a networking event as opposed to a conference. So there is a ton of great information, but they really encourage you to get out there and network. And the reason being, there are only 11,000 earned in agents globally in the luxury division, which is wild. 11,001 because David Wen just hit it yesterday. So out of that small group of people, we did $38.3 billion with a B billion dollars in luxury, which is incredible for a small pool like that. And the reason that they market it, can you slide me, Ted? Am I supposed to do that? Oh, okay, wait.
A
We'll just
video?
watch the video. Yeah, so this is Brady explaining kind of what their vision is. I do. So you can play that.
My name is Brady Sandall. I'm Director of Growth for Keller Williams Luxury. We are the House of Excellence, the largest real estate sales force the world has ever seen, with the strongest and most successful presence in the luxury arena. Keller Williams Luxury understands that luxury is a language. It's a look and a feel, which is why we equip our ladies and gentlemen with the best marketing tools they can use, not only to attract customers to them, but to properly market the properties they represent to the buyers who are going to buy them. Keller Williams Luxury equips their agents at a local, regional, and national level with white glove professional services, which means they can quickly turn to ladies and gentlemen that are there to support them grow their luxury business. When you join Keller Williams Luxury, you're joining a culture that believes in sharing best practices. In other words, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. There's the opportunity to join Keller Williams Luxury instead.
One more time.
Okay, so the reason that they market it as a networking event is because out of that $38.3 billion, 14.1 were referrals. 14.1 billion were done through referrals. Next slide, please. Thank you. Ta-da! Which is incredible. We're just shy of 7,000 referrals. So if you go to the next slide and the next slide. So this shows us where the referrals are coming from. So in Ontario, homes over, I think it's 1.2 million. So just shy of 4,000 were done in Ontario year to date, starting January 1st to now, which is incredible. So cool. So
Number
Isn't that
2 area in the
incredible?
world. That's it.
how cool is that?
Sure, a lot of it's Toronto, but
Still good. Probably Irene.
yeah.
Okay, it's all good. So all that to say, I left Symposium with 3 notebooks full of notes, like valuable information. Totally changed the way that I see our market center, totally changed the way that I see opportunity. And now I'm in a WhatsApp group with 17 agents from around the world. We talk all day, every single day. I'm going down to Tampa in a few weeks. My buddy on the Lightning is buying a home, and I referred it to an amazing agent there, John, who came to our dinner in Austin.
Yep.
Who, for those of you that were there, and he's going to come and see our brokerage in a few weeks.
Cool.
So it really is about the community and all of the networking you could possibly do. There's so much to say about this topic. I have created a Google Drive that I'm going to ask Kendra or whoever to help me share with whoever would like access to it, of like the the most valuable information that I gathered, and all of the resources that I use. I also would like to host a mastermind with the earned agents here to kind of share where we're going and what we have access to, because we have so many great resources, but more importantly, how are we articulating that to our databases? So anyone that's interested, we can talk after and get it set up.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Okay. So as you heard Jordan allude to, there's like 16 of these communities. I thought that was actually, I thought it was about 12, but so there's a whole bunch of different communities. We are looking for people who want to drive and introduce our brokerage to all the various communities. So if you have any interest in being a community leader or learning about the various communities, it is communities.kw.com. So I'll make sure that's in there too if you wanted to go and see what all those various communities are. We've been kind of looking for leaders in this communities really since last April, when I was first asking about who's talking about the opportunity map and everything here at KW. But this is also, and I'm going to talk about this more at the next sales meeting. Sunny, you could probably talk about it a little bit too. A big part of the vision of where Keller Williams is going. So Sunny was just at a huge meeting last week, and it's like number 3 or something like that on where the steps that the market center is supposed to go through to be what they call the Millionaire Market Center. So as a brokerage, we are trying to create value add opportunities, networking. It's all about relationships, especially during a shift, etc. And this is a big component of it. And we've just introduced 2 of them to you today, and we hope to continue to introduce more opportunities as well. Thank you very much, Amber. Well done. Okay, so now I'm going to quickly talk about the vision that where KW is going to, our new branding, etc. And I'm just going to kind of let this video speak for itself.
In 2023, Keller Williams turns 40. And sometimes midlife crisis is a good thing. Now, we aren't going to run out and buy a flashy sports car or a boat or some other toy. And we aren't suddenly going to grow a mustache because we've already got one. But it is time for something big, because that's what we do. It's time to tell the world who we really are and why we were called to this. T.S. Eliot said, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time." We started as a small real estate company with a mission to become so trusted by our clients that we could become their realtor for life. But of course, Gary Keller taught us that to be realtors for life, we had to be more than realtors. We're coaches, therapists, mentors, mind readers, and magicians. We're digital hunters with human touch. Wheelers and dealers who only use our powers for good. We are advocates and shoulders to cry on, friends to lean on, and confidants to trust. Together, we are the keys and the doors to new futures. This is the most important time in our lives, as a company, and simply as people. Your clients are feeling that same thing when they come to you. Their first homes, their final homes, newly married, newly divorced, empty nesters or more on the way. These are the most joyous, terrifying, and hopeful times of all our lives, because your clients are jumping off cliffs and trusting you to build wings on the way down. We get to feel the thrill of that connection every day, if we do our jobs right. And if we do our jobs right, they aren't jobs at all. It is indeed a calling to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, and lives worth living. To be entrepreneurs. For 40 years, we Keller Williams have deeply believed that entrepreneurship is the miracle of America, that in America, if you can dream it, you can build it. We're privileged to be in the business of buying and selling the most important and life-changing dream, the dream of owning a home of your own. It's not just an American dream, it's a dream shared around the world. At Keller Williams, we want to continue to earn the right to be the home of the dreamers, the doers, the entrepreneurs, the hundreds of thousands of you who have dreamed and built your own business, and in the process, built ours. We all know everything changes, but we will always champion you, the entrepreneurs who are powered by purpose, by energy and passion, teamwork, trust, and technology, integrity and culture, and trained in the rules of how we would do it, but who also have the confidence to bend the rules in ways Gary never dreamed of, but hoped you would. You see, we aren't here to teach you our past or to try and predict your future. We're here to help you create the future. We are reigniting a culture of celebrating entrepreneurial visionaries, because real leaders don't create followers. We create more leaders. We are teaching rebellion and inspiring invention. Your mavericks and world changers, and your relentless creativity, fueled by the competitive drive inside every one of you, will make the real estate models of today look quaint by the time you're finished. Everything we ever did was a risk. We started as a little underdog company and grew to be the largest real estate company in the world. You know what underdogs do when they get big? They look for bigger fights. Look for those fights. We want you to out-Gary Gary. Take risks, take heart, take action. All these things that you are for your clients, the coach, the therapist, and the key to a new future, we will redevote ourselves to being for you. There's a reason we want your name larger than ours on signs. When you look at your clients and think to yourself, it's not about me, it's about them. Well, it's not about us. It's about you. This is the most important time in our lives. You're living in a home built for entrepreneurs to thrive. And true entrepreneurs don't have to wait for doors to open for them. After all, we have our own lockboxes. Welcome home.
Pretty cool, eh? So especially at the next sales meeting, we'll be going over kind of changes to the mission statement and everything of where KW is trying to run with, where the entrepreneurs thrive, what they have in plans, and what they have in store as far as the vision, the mission, and all that belief system, et cetera, for the company. KW is built on and has an extraordinarily powerful culture, which all of you are a part of, and this stuff is what defines that, as well as all of you. So we'll get into that more on the next sales meeting, but I'm very excited about it, and as you should be as well. Part of what they're talking about being mavericks and growth and thinking big, etc. I would love for anybody to attend some of our profit share classes and all that stuff, because we are at a pinch point or a key moment in Keller Williams Integrity's life and history and all that stuff. We're about to pass a major milestone, and we've just opened up in Orleans. We've just opened up in Canada. We're opening up in Cornwall. We are looking to really take advantage of the shift, and we have a lot of stuff that's going to be rolling out over the next little while for growth. One project that we started back probably in April that got put on hold and is being relaunched with some new improvements is our thank yous that go out to cooperating agents. So when you do a transaction with an agent, we have a system where you get an email that says, congratulations on your recent sale of X. Many of you would have seen this. How is working with the name of the cooperating agent? And would you like to thank them on our behalf and provide a nice compliment and a little detail of the transaction so that we can send them out a gift. We also invite them to training and stuff like that. the gift that they get invited to pick up a bottle of wine at any of the offices. It has a little tag that says, "Thank you for doing a deal with us." And a little wine opener with Keller Williams on it, all in the little bag. Okay, so whenever you do a deal, you're going to get this email and you respond to it. The more real the compliment can be, the more detail you can give, the better the response that we can go. We've made a few improvements since we first started this in April. So this is the email that I would then send. So I do a video to each and every person. Whenever you respond, I do a video to them, passing on your compliment, inviting them to the training, telling them that they're available to pick up the bottle of wine at any of our offices. We're also trying to get them into our offices because our offices are beautiful. Okay, we want them to see it, etc. And the biggest changes that we're doing is the giveaway, the gift, copying you guys on the emails. That's an oversight that I didn't realize we weren't doing back in April. But the most important thing is you guys being copied on that email so that you know what we've sent the thank you. So you can then reach out to them and say, "Hey, are you going to come by the office to get your wine? You know what I mean? Are you going to the training? It was so great doing a transaction with you," etc. But not only that, when they reply, hopefully they're going to hit reply also, that they get a reply back to you too, so you could respond, because you just gave them a lovely compliment and then you weren't looped in the first place. It was a huge mistake, and I apologize for that. Okay, so those are two of the big things that improvements that we're making. And then we're hoping, with your help as well as ours, is to have better follow-up with those emails as well. So they get put on receiving the training calendar and a few other things, primarily if they respond, you know, a follow-up to, you know, have you picked up your wine yet, etc. But if you guys are trying to build your profit share, the big key would be for you guys to do some of that follow-up as well. Secure, if they ever do join, like I'll do all the recruiting, but you guys do the relationship building. Okay? That makes sense? Any questions on that? Okay, we are going to be doing much more regularly the profit share and wealth building seminars. This is one of the few pillars of the things that we're going to be doing and trying to make it super easy for you guys to build your profit share. Okay, it's a big win-win, and explaining simply how it works, because we've gotten a lot of feedback on people not really understanding how profit share works. Okay, no questions? Okay, so make sure you give good compliments and details on the transaction so we can make it as authentic as possible. Kyle.
Listen to that roar.
There.
I wasn't like fishing there.
You
but
get a
I'm glad
fuzzy
it
one.
worked. Like, it was a genuine fish, genuine fishing. I can't even get my wife to do that. Yeah, sorry, Friday at wine. That's when we can talk about that. Two huge announcements in the mortgage world today. The other one is that I finally get a haircut, so that's cool. But the first one is, yeah, Bank of Canada raised rates today. Where am I pointing this? There we go. Nope, going this way. Yeah, they raised rates today. At this point, it's kind of like, duh, that's what they're gonna do. My last slide, actually, I'm gonna go through some stuff. My last slide is actually a lot of the justification and what the outlook looks like. Wow. Have I never done this before? Apparently. There we go. There we go. All right. So quick thing on rates. You can see where they've gone. It's typically been one direction, which is that way. So that's happening. People still qualifying. You can get the odd rate under 5%, but those days are like gone. Like sub 3, unless we fall off the cliff as a society again, we're not going to see sub 3. We'll be lucky to keep it to be sub 4. Like one thing you'll see is a quote I'm going to put in later, which is like, we are here. And to be honest, this is normal. Like we should not have been where we were for the last 10 years. It was a cool run. Like that was fun. We're going to look back one day and be like, sit around the campfire and be like, oh, you remember those days of 1.44? My client called me this morning. Are we going to refinance that? I'm like, that'd be a stupid idea, dude. Don't do that. So that's where we are. This is where it's getting a little bit more gnarly, which is the uninsured stuff. So people are doing 20% down, 30-year AM, and like that's not a typo. at 684. That is not a typo. Okay. So we're up there. Those are people doing rentals is what you're going to see there. So this is what this is. This isn't to like doom and gloom everything. People are still going to buy real estate. There's still a reason to do it. Everybody's still going to want to do it. The thing is that the conversation has to shift, and it has to, from just like, how low can we go, to like, why are we doing this? Right? It's going to be harder to cash flow a rental property. I think you guys have all seen that if you've done any, right? So what's the thing, right? I'm switching the conversation a lot to the meeting we had with the city planner. Like I sat in on that, like the rezoning, right? Taking something and flipping it into a multi-door. That still is going to make you money, right? So it's changing those conversations, because single families are going to be a little bit tough for that kind of stuff. So this is more information for you guys to look at and say, okay, how can we spin this? And I can help you with that too. I'm not going to do it here, but if you want to see what I see and what numbers are, by all means, talk to me, because we'll work out some numbers there. Variable rates. This has probably been the biggest kick in the face, I think, because I've taken it. I am taking it currently. Variable rate is awesome. But there's still a reason to do it. And this is literally a copied slide other than the rates from last month, because it's still the same thing. There's a reason for variable. There's a good reason to have it in certain situations. There's a little bit of hurt over the next 18 to 12, sorry, I'm not going to go backwards, 12 to 18 months. But after that, the people who can get through this are going to see the biggest change for the positive as rates start to drop. And they most likely will, and I'll explain that in a sec. What did I say here? Oh yeah, you're going to get this question all the time. They always call you guys first before they call me. So I'm just going to give you the answers, or something you can cheat with, right? Oh, if you're on a variable, what should I do? Man, if you can, hang tight. I'll explain why, but hang tight and ride it out. I'll show you the numbers that say it's still cheaper, although it hurts, it's still cheaper than locking in, right? If you do want to lock in because you can't sleep at night, which is also a very good thing to do, is sleep at night, consider a shorter term. But again, it's all math now. There's no feeling left. Well, I think this is cool. Locking in's better because I feel like it. Fuck that. It's literally the math, right? The math. And for anybody else, we start talking about trigger rates and all that kind of weird stuff, right? People will have to start increasing their payments. Like if you want to give someone advice, fixed, variable, whatever, quick answer, make higher payments. That's it. It's that simple. You have to start making higher payments or you will be caught dead. The payment shock in 2024, 25, and 26 is the next hurdle we have to get over, right? This is today. The people who got 144 and have 4 years left, right, in 2025, they're the next group that's going to hurt. And we're going to handle that, right? Yeah, I just said that. Rates are not going back to sub 4 like ever.
I think that's the most important thing on that whole slide.
You can take that.
We're never going to go forever again.
No, and I think one interesting thing there is we're now going to start dealing with people who you're going to deal with two groups of people. You can deal with people who are like, oh man, I had 144 or 2% or 3%. And then you're going to have people who are like 4.5%. Yeah. Right. Because that's what they're going to learn. So we're going to work through with those people too. It's going to be two different sets of people that we have to work with, two different mentalities, two different sets of math, right? But that's where that relationship and the financing stuff is really going to help. So keep an eye on that. Still the same thing. Definitely, even today, still revisit your pre-approvals, right? One of the reasons Scotiabank specifically has been lagging in dropping their rates, they're some of the highest in the market, is because they had some of the longest rate hold policies and they were busy funding all of those as rates were going up. So they were just losing a chunk. So now they just set those high and they're like, we're gonna get all this back now, right? So that revisit your pre-approvals because they aren't what they were at all, right? Especially with the way the stress test works. Fixed versus variable, essentially the same thing now. Stress test isn't making a difference. Everything's high, like 6-7%. I'm gonna work on one today they're gonna qualify at like 8.5. I don't know what they're gonna qualify for, but they're gonna qualify at something like that. And then what else is there? Static payments. Yeah, people are gonna freak out about the static payments. I can talk about that one-on-one if you want. Most of the variable people, the majority of variable people are still okay because their payments have been rising as interest rates rise. There's a lower percentage people are with the static payments. What else am I saying here? Oh yeah, so here's this. So this is directly something I sent to a client yesterday. I had 2 of them. And this is their options. They're the ones who can't sleep at night because they took a variable and it's been going up ever since. So this is where they are as of like 10 o'clock or like 9:30 this morning. And then by like, this is wrong. This is wrong because I assumed we were going up 75 points. So we only went up 50 points. So good for them. They're going to save 25 bucks. But that's what their payment would jump to in this column here if the rate went up 75 points. Fully expecting December to move up again. Fully expecting it. It's almost written in in stone. It'll probably be, I had 75 and 25. It'll probably be 50-50. So it's going to go up again. And then just for fun, I threw it out the window and I'm like, if we really want to jump off a cliff, let's say in January, they do it again, right? So that's the progression. Now, what are the options? And what I want you to focus on is the payments, right? Like once we get to kind of like here, because that's going to happen. If you can see the jump to moving to a fixed rate 4-year through 5-year or is not that different. So it's still cheaper. So people saying like, I gotta lock in. Yeah, okay, but you're just automatically doing that. And you're sticking that with that for the next 3-4 years. So can you still do that? Or can you suck it up for a year? And I say suck it up in the most nicest way possible. Not like, can you suck it up? But like, can you handle that for like a year? Right? And we'll get to why a year is so important. And then it's like jumping out to something like a 3-year for a shorter term so you can just live a little bit easier. And then there's this guy down here. That's an alternative deal at 7%, which means they're qualifying at 9%. And why I put that there is just for perspective. That's what somebody's paying today. And that poor person, because they're in an alternative deal, probably had half of that last year because they were in a 299 on a B deal. And that's what their renewal's coming in at. So as much as this is doom and gloom and why am I putting this for you guys, it's really just so you understand the mentality of what your clients are facing. That's what they're facing, right? It's just reality. Doesn't mean they're not going to buy. Just means that's the reality. Oh, and this was the other thing. This person, that was their payment last December when they got their mortgage.
Kyle?
Yeah,
Can I troubleshoot this for a little bit?
sure. As long as we got time. You were in my office twice yesterday. That's why, yeah. Yeah.
So that person, we all have this person.
Yeah.
In our database right now, likely. In the way the prices work, they all spend to their max.
Mhm.
That $2,500 was their max that they could probably afford, right? Maybe a little bit more because the stress test allowed them to go to maybe $3,000, right? Because they qualified at what, 2%, stress test them to 4%. Well, now the rates are well over that. They're way over 50% of their income going to it. And by the end of today, and when the banks adjust, they're going to be so far over, they can no longer afford this. Like Christmas does not look good to these people if they spend to their max December 2021, right? We're going to start getting calls on, I need to sell my home. Well, I don't know about you guys, but if they bought their home in December 2021, they can't sell their home. It's not worth what they paid. Minus your $50,000. So how do we keep them in their home? How do we solve this problem? Because they can't ride out. The moment they miss a payment, all solutions are out the window.
Not necessarily.
There we go. Your turn.
So yeah, so not necessarily. So the big thing, and then you know what? That's a great, that's a great question. The thing is that, yeah, love you, buddy. The big thing is that a lot of these people who are at that max, so one, the stress test was set up, right, based on the rate you're paying plus 2% or 5.25%, whatever was higher. So they qualified for this deal at 5.25%. That's what it is. They weren't really paying that, but that's what they were told they could pay. They could pay for it. This is also assuming they've got default insurance on the mortgage because that's where most of this stuff is going to hit hard. Okay, so less than 20% down. So in theory, they should have still been able to afford a mortgage up to 5.25%, but it never takes into account things like, I don't know, food, internet. It's literally just your property taxes, your mortgage, and like your car payments and debt. Like that's it. So it's good, but it's not that good, right? So can they afford their house? Technically they can. Does that mean they can? No, right? So with the people who have default insurance, that's probably one of the first questions. If they call you and say, hey man, Josh, we got to huck this house. Like, that's it. We got to get out of here, right? You say, look, you're going to sell it. You're underwater. That's that. Default insurance is there for a reason. They will have programs built in where they can call the default insurer and say, I can't do this.
Can we expand on default?
So CMHC, Canada Guarantee, or Sagen, right? One of the 3 default insurers that are out there. Every single mortgage that has less than 20% down has one of them. And they all have something built in, right, to help in financially rough times. So what does that look like? Could be anything. They could capitalize payments. They could look at re-amortizing the mortgage. If you've been on an accelerated biweekly payment, you have gained yourself a year and a bit already. So that's not a lot of relief, but they can re-amortize back, right? The big thing is that what they don't want to see happen and what they can't have happen, you can't have a massive percentage of houses go back on the market, and none of these banks want to take them back. None of them want to take them back. And if you've made all your payments, there's a little kind of the gray area, the way I understand it, like they can't even ask for the money back. They just got to keep letting you pay, right? So there will be people that have to negotiate and talk to their banks. I'll get you there in a sec. That talk to their banks about what they can do, right? You probably won't give them a solution, I'll straight up. You're just going to direct them to where they got to go.
My understanding is, as long as you're not in default, those calls happen. So it gives you an opportunity to reach out to your past clients who are struggling and be their hero, right?
Yep.
Be their superhero. Be that realtor that we're all trying to be in advance of it, and find out. You don't have to answer me, but tell them before you miss payments, make this call.
Yeah, and now that'll be the other thing. I'll go to Jeff, then I'll go there for the comment, but that'll be the other thing is if there's going to be something you put out there is you cannot stick your head in the sand on this as the homeowner, right? You can't call me to try to help you on day 76 of 90 days and you're going power of sale. But I won't be able to help you, right? There's not enough time. You have to be able to foresee that one's going to be hard to make. That payment's going to be hard to make, right?
No one's gonna stand up 90 days before they miss their payment and say, I'm about to miss my payment. They're not calling you. You have to almost market it to them and let them know that here are the solutions in the event that you're in this situation.
Yeah. And today will be one of those days, because if they hadn't hit their trigger rate, and that's just some of them, if some people haven't hit their trigger rate on their TD or Manulife or like RBC mortgage, which really just means that their payments that they're making, because they never moved with prime as it moved, right? It just means their entire payment or less than what their entire payment is pure interest. Like I have a guy that's gone back from 25-year amortization to 52 because everything he's paid is just purely interest, right? And he just has to keep paying. So those are the people that are going to have a little bit more of a jam, because we got to come up with extra money that maybe doesn't exist. And I honestly don't think it's going to be a ton of the population. It's going to be some, it's not going to be a ton, but we still got to help those people, right? So the troubleshoot is tell them to get on it early, be humble enough to look at that, make that phone call and see what can happen, and tell them there probably is a plan, right? But they have to reach out and go to their bank to do it. Waiting for it to come to you or hoping Lotto Max kicks in, hope is not a strategy. Hope is not a strategy there. Wherever they used. Lots of times it'll end up being filtered through the broker or the bank directly to the insurer. We can hook them up with the insurers. Yeah. Jeff?
Tell us about the short sale process.
So what I'm curious about is what is the actual short sale process? How do we get involved? Who do we negotiate with when somebody's forced to sell a house that's now underwater?
Well, I mean, if they're still making payments,
And since they can't afford the house, they have to sell it. The house is now worth less than mortgage. What's the process for us to sell that house?
Who had their license in 1999 because no one else in this room has ever been through it?
yeah, I'll be honest. I just the other day, I had an offer. I was financing the offer on one that was on power of sale.
Can you talk to some of the lenders and see what the process is for a short sale? When they're underwater, they can't make their payments, they come to us, we need to sell the house. There is a process, I've done one before, where you negotiate with the lawyer, negotiates with the lender to accept less money than what's owed on the mortgage, and then they negotiate a 5 or a 10-year,
Oh, okay, so we couldn't save it. We couldn't save it. There's some left over. What are we doing with that?
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that because I've never 13 years, but I've still never done it.
They accepted half the loss, they passed half the loss onto the seller, and the seller had to amortize that loss within 10 years and that loan.
So it's just a loan. Okay.
Alone, yeah, that's sure.
Yeah, I'll see.
But they had it hanging over their head for the next 10 years, the shortfall. But
Yeah, and if-
they have to pay them half.
And if that happens, if it's an insured mortgage, there's very little chance that person's buying a house again in Canada. I'll tell you that right now. If it's insured, if it's uninsured, you might get something down the road. But if it's insured, it's a cool program at 5%, but they're not very forgiving if you don't make it. So, but I don't think the population is going to be that jammed in general, but, oh yeah, there. See, throw that in. That's fun.
Yeah, just wanted to say something. Actually, guys, I think we want to focus on the solution because the whole situation is this. Is inflation pretty high right now? Okay, so where's most of that inflation being filtered? Wages, actually, not material costs. Try and get an assistant or receptionist. 2 years ago, you're paying them 40% more. So people actually have that extra 500 or 600 or 700, $1,000 a month. Could try to get a job. Like that's why they can't get restaurant staff. That's why they can't, because people are paying so much money now in wages, and that's a big part of our inflation. So people are actually earning more money. The issue is that they have a $1,200 car payment. They've gotten used to daycare. They've gotten used to this. They've gotten used to that. They go out to the restaurant every weekend. They go out to this, they go to that. And so they've gotten used to a lifestyle whereby which they're spending a lot of money on stuff that now they actually got used to cheap money in mortgage. And Wendy, I don't know what your first house was at. My first townhouse in the Hunt Club here was 11%, and that was a deal. So we know economically anything actually below 6% is actually still cheap money.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's just that we got to super cheap money and we're spending it on different ways. So you may have to sit down with your people as economists and start to say, hey, what don't we need in our lifestyle right now? Because your biggest equity investment is going to recover in 2 years. And I'm going to tell you one thing in Ottawa with your double family income and your unemployment rate, Ottawa is still undervalued real estate wise. And as soon as you get out of the market, you're not going to have the money to get back into the market.
Yeah, and I don't want it, and that's the thing. I don't want it to be doom and gloom from the fact that means we're all we're dying here. We're not.
Pay it for a year or two, it's going to come back.
And now here is why. So I can wrap that up for you.
Yeah.
So we're at the Mortgage Professionals Canada Conference last weekend. This guy, Ben Tall, is kind of like the economist. He's with CIBC. He talks at our conferences all the time. He's very dry, but he's also funny. So a couple of things, I'm going to post the article in our Facebook group. A couple of things that he brought out of that was basically, I'm going to summarize this, is that right now, the Bank of Canada is pushing everything forward, right? They're ramping up rates because they're trying to tame inflation. If we look back on history, when they try to do this, they've usually done two things. One, they've overcorrected, and then they too quickly overcorrect the overcorrection. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna keep those rates going up. We'll probably stop somewhere around 4 to 4.25%, which means the actual prime is gonna be like 6 and change, right? And they're gonna hold that for at least the first 2 quarters of 2023. And then after that, we're going to start see some easing. When they see how much people don't spend at Christmas, when they see what happens with some of these payments and whatnot, they're going to have to start to make some type of correction. But as long as they've got inflation to where they want it, that's when they'll move. Until that happens, they don't really want to do it. And inflation doesn't really tell you any story until 6 months after it's peaked. And then they go, oh, sweet. And then they start doing stuff, which puts us into 2024, when things start to level out a bit. So let's just pretend we're in 2023 right now, right? So this was just fun for pictures. So I'll send it to you guys. You guys can read it if you want. It's pretty layman's. But at the end of the day, right, what ended up happening was everything we're seeing today should have happened through 2020 and 2021, right? So what happened was we consumed as a society four times, 4 years worth of goods in 1 year. How does that not skew stuff? And then on top of that, for other than cheap money, everybody had to panic buy, right? So they got into it. When you look at this market over 4 years, it'll actually end up being balanced, which is just weird, but the proportions are going to be so off, right? So it's about just hanging in. It's about hanging in and trying to encourage people to do that, right? The ones who want to buy will buy. The ones who can't will have to wait longer. The ones who are in tough are going to have to pay a little bit more. But we're still going to do it because there's one thing Canadians do. We love paying mortgages for sure. And our credit cards, but mostly mortgages. Everything else can go. But so I hope that wasn't too doom and gloom. Okay, cool. Now I know how to do that.
Awesome.
Make sure you hit the forward button.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Wendy? Where's Mr. Fuzzy here? Mr. Fuzzy?
What do I do then? Okay, good for you. Come on up. Let's do this together.
Sorry, Lisa.
A visual aid, yeah, coming soon.
Have you ever seen one? Yeah, ever?
Lately, yeah, for
Be
sure.
one of the last times.
So Korea has some new rules out there. Has anybody actually read this?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So what's your thought on this? What's happening? What's happening, Sarah?
As soon as you market a property for sale, it has to be on the MLS.
3 days, right.
And marketing to be a photo of the picture on.
A sign out front. Yeah.
Any marketing at all.
Did everybody hear that? As soon as you start marketing a property in any way at all, whether it's social media, sign on the front lawn, exclusive open house or whatever, it has to be on MLS within 3 days. No, just residential. No, this is just not rental, I don't think. No, I don't think so. Just residential sale. Yeah. January, exactly.
No,
You just can't advertise it. You can, but you can't market it, right?
To the
Yeah.
public.
Yeah.
You can't advertise it
Yeah.
to the public.
no, that's the public,
Anything.
Brokerage.
but not, just within the brokerage,
you
not
can't
with
put up
an agent from another company or anything like that.
No, that's marketing. Putting it on a website is marketing. I know. Yeah, for sure.
Will you repeat the question for anybody on Zoom?
Okay, sure, Marilyn.
Here,
Eh.
we want people on Zoom to hear.
You
can still do exclusive, but you cannot market it.
Right.
As soon as you market it, you can have an exclusive listing for 3 months to a year. But as soon as you market it, it has to be on MLS within 3 days.
And marketing is any form of promotion. Any form of promotion, whether it's through your social media, your own website, whatever, that's marketing. And if you're doing that, it has to be on MLS within 3 days.
I have a question about exclusive and coming soon, because one of
Can we just have one conversation here, guys? Sorry, thank you.
my clients ask me, so exclusive, that means that all of the listings are exclusive, right? But they're on the market are still different ways, exclusive and coming soon. So what's the difference exactly for the meaning of that?
What's the difference between exclusive and coming soon?
So if you've said coming soon, then you've advertised it. Like otherwise, exclusive is just you've got a contract signed, so nobody, other realtor can kind of come in and swoop up that listing. as soon, while staging, while taking photos, you've got them committed. But as soon as you tell anybody about it outside of this brokerage, now you have to put it on MLS
Within 3 days.
within 3 days.
The other answer to that is you're asking what the difference between a coming soon and an exclusive. An exclusive is something that is listed between you and your brokerage. But it's not necessarily, but you have to be able to show it. It has to be show ready. Let's say you have an exclusive listing and I heard about it and I want a client to come in. You can't prevent my client from coming in to see it because it's an exclusive listing. It's ready. A coming soon was somewhere where you could say, we're not ready to show it yet. So you would say, we're prepping the house.
Not,
Well, you
that's
have
not,
that, But
that's not really
kind
quite
of
accurate.
what they're saying.
So, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Let's
That
just,
One clarification so you understand this. Why it doesn't apply to commercial is because most commercial brokerages are not member of CREA. Understand that as a brokerage and as a board, you're a member of the Canadian Real Estate Association, which governs the MLS. Avis and Young, Cushman Wakefield, they're not part of CREA. So they're non-MLS member boards. So there are brokerages out there that are not part of the Canadian Real Estate Association, therefore not governed by these rules. But all the major franchises and brokerages are. So we have to follow these specific rules related towards MLS. Second of all, when it comes to exclusives, because I'm the former chairman of the CREA Broker Committee as of last year. So with regards to exclusives, any form of advertising, however, we've had this discussion. If you have an exclusive listing, you still have to submit that paperwork to your brokerage because there's a legal obligation in a contract between that and the person. You can contact neighbors or people within your personal network, but in no way in any other form can you advertise that. So is there an opportunity for you to do an off-market deal with a client between two clients and you still be the facilitator of that? Yes, but it can't be done in any form of marketable form out there.
Can I talk to the coming soon?
yeah,
One more
go ahead.
second.
Yep.
So coming soon isn't a contractual thing at all. It's literally promotion. Like if you say coming soon, you are basically at that point promoting. The only contractual thing is the exclusive. Okay, so there's not two different kinds. There's one kind, well, there's two kinds. There's exclusive and on MLS, right? Coming soon is just a form of advertising in itself.
Getting some interest ahead of time of it going
Yeah.
on the market.
Yeah.
Yes, Brent?
I have a out of for a year. And I mentioned JF, that's fine. As soon as I put it on social media that I got the spot listing, I gotta have it on.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So oftentimes what we do in our practice, in my practice, for coming soon is I will sign an exclusive listing because I want the coverage. I want to be covered during the time I'm doing pictures, staging, all of that stuff. That's a different thing than what we're talking about here, about the rules regarding marketing and properties that have to go on MLS. Just a minute, Alex, sorry.
I think there's a lot of confusion because what a lot of people do is they sign an exclusive listing and they only market it as an exclusive listing. There's lots of people that never put exclusive listings on MLS. So
Right,
they're
but if-
marketed on Facebook, on websites, on wherever as an exclusive listing. So I think that's why there's confusion. People are asking, can you still have an exclusive listing? Not in that way. You can sign an exclusive listing, but it stays within your own little sphere. You
Within the
cannot
brokerage.
market it.
Within the
Yes,
brokerage,
you
right?
cannot market it as an exclusive listing anymore.
So Rosalie asked, could we still post it on KW Integrity Connect? And the answer would be yes.
Because that's internal.
So just for the brokerage, only the brokerage is allowed to be on there. Okay, and we are going to be looking at more ways for us to be able to basically market exclusives internally, because we still want you to have that extra reason for them to actually sign the exclusive at the very beginning. Oh, in the meantime, we'll be reaching out to our 250 realtors to try to get it sold while you're getting it ready, right? So we're going to be looking at solutions to make that still a conversation for you. But as soon as you market outside the brokerage, it's got to be on MLS. 3 days.
Hmm?
That's Yeah, and you cannot do that anymore, right? As soon as you put the sign up, you have 3 days. That's
And-
marketing.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, just 1 second.
Is it going to show on MLS as coming soon or
Still can't
exclusive
hear.
or just as active?
Okay, so question is it gonna show on MLS as coming soon as or active? It will be active. Okay, so in other words, you're gonna sign an exclusive and not market it if you were trying to get, if it's not ready for showing. Okay, you're only gonna want it to go live when it's ready for showing. It's gonna be active. There's no, to a certain extent, we are getting rid of coming soon, correct?
Pretty much. And the reason that this is happening, and it's a bit late to the game, really, when you think about it, is that what we just went through the last couple of years with everything selling over asking, being crazy. People were complaining because if it was exclusive and not marketed on MLS, it didn't benefit the seller the same way that it would if it was on MLS and had 10 offers instead of, maybe 1. And I think that's the reason for this happening. Do you know that, Sonny? Is that the reason?
Yeah, there's a couple of reasons. Partly, this is driven by the fact that Realtor.ca, unlike Realtor.com, is actually owned by one association. And as a result of that, what happens is that we are actually in a really good situation of any place in the world of having an MLS system that is cross-country, that the consumer goes, over 70% of the consumers still go to that site to get all of the information. So part of what Realtor.ca under CREA is trying to do is we're trying to get complete data. So when we get complete data, we force our members. So in other words, you have to choose now. If you're going to be an MLS member, and if you're going to use the MLS system for your benefit, then you need to play with MLS rules and be transparent. You can't be playing with them and then choose not to play with them sometimes, and then use the data and your own and using the bridge that we've built for your own benefit. So CREA is forcing you to basically say, within 3 days, like, do what you need to do, but it needs to be on our system so that we can now go back to the consumer, because the consumer is going to be asking you for sold data. They're actually going to be asking for sold data instantly, and you're going to see that reflect on Realtor.ca, where now they're going to be able to see history, sold data, because but they need to close down these other things of where our data is leaking into private stuff, or our own people are feeding those other platforms and not feeding its own platform. That makes sense?
Okay. Another question?
Yeah, so I just want, so it means that your sign can only go in front of the house 3 days prior to the listing going on.
Right, exactly. Yep. Once your sign goes in on the lawn, you're.
I don't think they have that yet.
And there's probably going to be another form. Because there are some loopholes that get through, but we haven't got there yet.
Further to what Wendy just said, there's more information that has to come. So this is going to trickle down. So it's first step was CREA. We're going to hear from the provincial level and then locally. So watch for training or Zoom or more information. This comes into effect January 1. There will be fines, but that's determined at the local level. There will be regulation and follow-up, like monitoring. Again, that's at the local level. Just stay tuned, please.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. We all have to stay tuned. Things are changing, and we will all be learning more.
Thank you, Wendy.
Okay, thanks.
All right. So Move Snap is once again up for renewal. We got a testimonial here.
Hey everybody, it's Tay. This week it's Monday. In the last couple of days, I've had a few people ask me my opinion on MoveSnap, and I just want to ask you a few questions while you consider it. One, what's the value that you're giving your clients from firm to close? How are you supporting them? How are you staying in touch with them? MoveSnap supports that. How many first-time home buyers do you know who maybe have never set up utility accounts? Gosh, wouldn't that be lucky? They're going to benefit from MoveSnap. How many partner referrals do you get? Well, if you're wowing your clients with an excellent firm to close system, You might get more referrals from those allied resources. And lastly, if you don't have MoveSnap, what are you doing? Because I know for a fact that is definitely a couple of tasks on your plate that MoveSnap could maybe take care of for you. You do 5 transactions a year, that's $40 a transaction. Not too shabby.
Okay, so MoveSnap, quick summary. It's a really cool platform that you basically put your clients in, and it takes care of all kinds of things from when you sell the house to when they're closing until when they move, right? It helps them find daycare, it helps them change their utilities, it helps them get all their provincial driver's license and all that stuff switched over. It's a portal that everything's basically taken care of right from the very get-go, where they're reaching out to your client has a portal and makes it very easy for them to move, do everything to move, okay? Now, if you go to MoveSnap and sign up as a realtor off the street, it's like over $1,000. It's extremely expensive. If we get enough people to sign up here, the price goes down and down and down with huge, huge price breaks, okay? So we've done this for maybe 3 or 4 years now. We typically get it from that over $1,000 price to $200 for the whole year because we have enough people using it. And so it's time for us to renew a subscription. So we are asking everybody who wants to be a part of it. There is a demo link. It's all been emailed to you all on October 21st at 4:13. Okay. So you can watch the demo on that. We will include the demo link again out with the slides here so you can learn about and see what it's about. And we can't tell you exactly what the price is going to be until we know how many people sign up. So you got to take a bit of a leap of faith, but I don't think we've ever been more than 200. And the people who are signed up typically sign up again because it is a very, very valuable service. Sarah, you use it? Speak up if you use it, put up your hand, woo, okay? It's a very, very powerful tool, okay? Okay, so you're not going to be stuck if it's more than 200. You're budgeting 200 in your decision making at this point. Good? All right. So Leadership Council, another quick round of applause for everybody on the Leadership Council. They're really miserable people who had absolutely no fun yesterday. So things from your ALC Culture Committee has an update. We have Greg talking about a huge program that we do with iSisters. We have sponsored another person. Greg.
Hi, everyone. I want to start off by thanking all of you for supporting the Culture Committee and making a difference in our community. With your help, Keller Williams Integrity was able to present its second scholarship to a very deserving student of iSisters. Last week, Geraldine presented a Gazelle Ayub with a $1,000 scholarship for her ongoing educational endeavors and important work with the community. Gazelle truly expresses Integrity's culture of learning and sharing. And iSisters as well is the same. Just so you know, iSisters is a community-based charity whose mission is to help women in need learn technology skills in order to help them to get better paying jobs. This will then help them better themselves, help their families, and help their communities. And with a mission built around learning, growth, empowerment, and supporting the community, we believe that iSisters values are well aligned with Keller Williams Integrities. And that is why we've agreed to continually support them through our annual scholarship. Thank you, everyone. You're all making a difference.
Anybody's interested in learning more about this one, you could join the Culture Committee, but it really is inspirational. The stories of the women, like we all got to review a whole bunch of women who've been narrowed down for their situation and what their goals are and where they're going and all this stuff. And you read, it's a tearjerker, you read all their bios and all that stuff, and then it's an impossibility to really pick a winner. It's a really, really fantastic program, and you guys are making a huge difference in someone's life. And the person who we're making a huge difference for in their life is typically making a big difference in other people's lives too. So it's really phenomenal. All right, from the social committee, Halloween is coming Monday, October 31st, just a few days away. There is going to be at the office here, a costume party, potluck, all kinds of stuff with prizes, etc. So make sure you're in the office on Monday. It's gonna be a lot of fun. The growth committee had a hugely successful client appreciation day. Over 500 KW clients and families came and were in attendance. We learned a lot from the day, and we definitely are going to be doing it again and making it better and better and better with everything that we learned. Thank you very much to the growth committee. And I'd like to welcome Michael DePa. Congratulations to Sheena for building her downline. Leslie Miles, congratulations to Haley Miles for building her downline. Manik Patel, congratulations to Devan Sheesh. Sony, I believe he's in Toronto, for building their, there we go, yeah, for building his downline. Alexandra George, welcome, and congratulations to Julie Torrance Hayter, her mom, for building her downline. And huge congratulations to Shelley Gerber and Milan Thibault. Neither are here. No, okay. For those of you who don't know, you get come up and get a pin for your first sale. Our cappers, September 22 cappers, Amira Ayed, congratulations. Megan McGuire, Manuk Reed, Glenn Walton, Rachel Marcus, Alfredo Patricio, Jeff Richards, Rochelle West, and Harris Usavi. Congratulations. What's that? Yeah, and we get cappers. Yeah, I see Glenn. I don't remember the names that were on there. Anybody on the list got a hat? Put up your hand, we'll get you a hat. Looking good, Rachel. All right, our top 5 single agents year to date: Jean Richer, Mustafa Algendi, Sarah Cameron, Alistair Beauchamp, and Sam Mezer. Congratulations. Our top 5 teams, that's 2 people. That's, yeah, Ottawa Brazil Real Estate Group, Paul San, the Adams family, M&M teams, and the Ann Winch Real Estate team. There's a few that are more than 2 or soon to be more than 2 up there. Yeah, I'm not sure. Top 5 real estate groups, which is 3 or more people. Congratulations to the West team, the Lily Hugh team, the Helen Tang real estate team, the Chris Scott real estate team, and the Lanigan real estate group. Congratulations. All right. I want to say thank you to everyone's loyalty and celebrating some anniversaries for October. Jessica Yin, 3 years. Shabazz Amazagadan, 3 years. Lisa Hoyle, 4 years. Brent Bennett, 4 years. Blair Simser, 4 years. Kailong He, 4 years. Tina D'Angelo, 4 years. Aislinn Hannell, 6 years. Shane Frost, 9 years. Anne Scarf and her beautiful tattoo, 10 years. And Jeffrey Worthing, 13 years. All right, we are coming to my favorite part. And does anybody have a bucket that they would like to fill? Okay, yeah, Helen?
I want to thank the leadership who had provided the LC, the retreat yesterday. It was phenomenal. Thank you so much. We had really had lots of fun and really recharged to give back more to the company. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. I want to thank you, Ted, for setting up all the tech and making this the most smooth sales meeting we've had in a long time.
I'd like to thank Terry Wilson for the picture she took at that
wonderful pumpkin day. I mean, Rosalie and her group did a great job setting that up, but the photography really went a long way to touching our clients who did show up.
I'll thank Sunny for being here and doing all the masterminds. There's 2 more mastermind sessions later today for different production groups. Thank you for coming to Toronto and doing that, especially since I abandoned you and left you to do it yourself.
Oh, well, Andrew, thank you so much. But I want to thank Kendra, man. Like, I mean, she's the glue that keeps us together. Like all the stuff that goes on and she just keeps putting it together. Like, what would we do without Kendra?
Anybody else? Can't follow Kendra, right? Christmas party, put it in your calendars, December 3rd, 2022. More information to follow.
Saturday.
The Saturday, yeah. Yeah.
Parties 2 days in a row. Friday, yeah, come down on Friday.
Mississauga and come back. Anybody have any pocket listings you're welcome to share? You don't have to put it on market in 3 days, on MLS in 3 days. Or any buyers that you'd like to share with the group. It's a nice big group in here today. No listings out there right now. Is that true? Not true. Okay, you want? Yeah, that's okay. Anybody have anything they want to talk about as far as listings or buyers?
And yeah, so it's a great place, great community, walking distance, grocery and pharmacy. Come take a look. How big is the lot?
It's about 50 by 150 by 100. 100. It is 825. Yeah. All right, come bring an offer and let's have a talk about it.
Alan?
Russell's got great places. We've got two active. It is the best place in Canada.
So we have we have 2 upcoming lists. One is in Westboro. It's very much updated and it's on a 50 by 100 lot, just step from Broadview Public School. Will be listed 1.3 something million. Will be go on live tomorrow. Another one is 2 on Gray, so walk distance to Elf March. It's 2 townhome waiting for buyers. One list is 619, another one 6 similar price, 3-bedroom and townhome. So great for self-living or investment. Thank you. No, not the end unit. Yes. Yeah, right now both are rentals, so they are rented. Yeah. Yes. So you can have investor. Yeah. Thank you.
Michael.
So I have a listing coming up hopefully by the end of the week in Castleman. It's going to be a 4-bedroom house, 3 washrooms for around 830,000. So that's coming up in Castleman hopefully in the coming weeks. Just need to get all the documents with my investor. And then I have a listing in Russell as well, Sunsets Flat Community. Finally, I put a face. Yeah, 4-bedroom for $899, and Sunset Flats Community, as you already heard, it's a beautiful community. We're very family oriented, nice walking trails. It's beautiful. Come and check it out, and it's a beautiful home.
Congratulations. Again.
I have 3 here. So one is just listed yesterday in Center Point, is a middle unit townhome, 179 Thumbury. And another one is coming up in Canada Connections. It's a new home, just closed this year in May and get rented with great tenant. So the seller want to sell. And another one is a bungalow, 3-bedroom plus den. It's a 2017. It's in Canada, Richardson Ridge. So hopefully you can bring us a buyer. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay.
Sorry, this wasn't planned, but we have our Christmas party the night before your Christmas party. It's going back to the original site in the Crooked Q in Port Credit, which is right on the water. It's like your Westboro. We've taken the entire 2 bar floors. It's on a strip that's got all the cafes. It's the coolest place. We have pool tables, ping pong tables. Why don't a few of you come down? It'll only be $50. Come down for the party tonight on the Friday night. There's a hotel behind, and then we all come back and have the party on the Saturday night. And I could make room for a bunch of you, and you network with some of the best agents in all of Toronto, because a lot of Toronto people are moving up to Ottawa. And write it off. So let me know, sunny.com.
Okay, we got one more, guys. Everybody, just a sec.
This from our Zoom people. Patricia has a buyer looking for 5 or more acres near or on the water in the Merivale area. If you have any leads on that, please reach out to Patricia Howell, or Bianca's right here as well, who can help you with that. Sorry, did you try to sneak in? Did you
No.
try to sneak in and be unnoticed?
1:36, and we are adjourned. Next meeting is November 16th. Thank you very much for being here, everybody. Oh, wait. What's up? It's here. Next meeting is here. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Good meeting. Great meeting. Great meeting. When you bring food in, you bring in more people.
We